Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to my channel, Virgo. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. This is your February 2021 soul story. I hope you enjoy listening. If you have a sun, rising, or your moon sign is in Virgo, then this is a general reading, but it might resonate for you as you navigate the influences of the month ahead. So let's see what we are opening up with. Okay, we have the energy of the Ten of Pentacles, Earth energy, of course, helping you to consider what makes you feel secure. What is going to provide you with that sense of validation that you are making the right choices and decisions for yourself this month? There was a really interesting note that I received when I was tuning in for your energy, Virgo, and it was the idea between choosing something or considering something to be chosen and not just considered. And if you think about the dynamic between those two things and how they might be playing out for you in different aspects of your life. So, for example, within a relationship dynamic, you want to be chosen, not just considered. You know, if you are thinking about moving forward or making a major change in your life, or there's a redirection that's happening, you know, the idea of being able to be empowered or be in a position where you get to choose is very different to having to consider or open up to lots of different possibilities. So, you know, the nuances and how that plays out for you through this month, I think is going to be really interesting. Now, we have a whole stellium of energies in the sign of Aquarius, this air sign, and we are adapting the move from a lot of the heavier, dense earth energy in Capricorn, which, you know, spoke the same language, had the same conversation that you have, into Aquarian energy, which is maybe a little bit more difficult for you to process because of the speed with which things start to happen when we're in that kind of an energy. But the retrograde, I think, is going to be supportive, and there is this sense of wanting to say to you not to take any shortcuts this month. You know, this is a time when it's going to be worthwhile putting the effort in and kind of finding a way to create your own new rhythm within Aquarius energy, because you are going to be working with it so strongly through the course of this year. So Ten of Pentacles and now the Four of Wands, really firm focus, I think, in and around the home environment, with family, with property, for you through the course of this month. And like we said, you know, the opportunity for deep reflection is going to deliver something very peaceful for you. Now, that might mean that you come to a place of just kind of accepting something, or you come to a point of recognizing something. During retrograde season, plans might change, okay? We have to be adaptable, we have to be fluid, but there's also this sense of you having the opportunity to like breathe life back into something, and I'm getting that really strongly, especially when I'm looking at all the roses in bloom and all the flowers in bloom here. There's something that you decide or that you take on or that you feel inspired to do through that retrograde to really just bring something back into your life that is filled with good, positive, beautiful energy. Now, we have a really lovely new moon happening on the 11th of the month in Aquarius, and there's a Venus and Jupiter conjunction happening on that day as well. And the following day is the Chinese New Year, year of the ox, that we're moving into. So there's something around that timing that I feel can be very auspicious for you, perhaps in revisiting something. Of course, retrogrades allow us the opportunity to be given information and details that perhaps we've overlooked, or perhaps we need to revisit because there's more to gain from it, there's more to understand, there's more to breathe life into. So you have Two of Cups energy coming through, and there's a sense of beautiful balance that's coming in here again in some aspect of your life. And I think it is important that you recognize that you know, this idea of not giving up and not trying to take a quick fix is going to be affording you the opportunity to start to feel that what you're doing has a lot more sustainability and longevity. You know, Mars is moving through Taurus, and that's making a really beautiful angle for your sign. So, you know, that motivation to do things that are going to feel permanent and long-lasting is going to be strong. Now, often, and I've said this to some of the other signs, when we're in retrograde, sometimes the short-term measures can work really well. You know, temporary positions, like temporary decisions, temporary, like things that we have to just look at just for the here and now. And yet, when I'm looking into your reading, I'm feeling that you have much more of a sense through the course of February of making sure that what you're acting upon and what you're thinking about is going to take you much further. Now, of course, this month we have the full moon in your sign on the 27th, and I have a sense that actually as we make our way into the second half of the month and you're building up to that full moon, you are going to be feeling much more clarity, much more decisiveness, much more honesty with yourself and others. And I think that's really important. Now, they do give me this note about remembering that kindness always comes back. Okay, so even where you might be bumping up against some situations, even some people who are not necessarily acting with as much integrity as you would like, or you are not on the receiving end of the type of energy that you've been giving out, just remember in the moment, if you can pause before you respond, I think that's going to make a big difference in what your experience is going to be on a personal level and how you're able to keep yourself centered and grounded. So we've got the King of Swords. It's an air sign, could be Aquarius, Gemini or Libra, may well be somebody that you need. I feel this person's coming along with an awful lot of information, clarification, details, conversations, this is coming in on that kind of a frequency for me. So I think they're going to be an important person that you need to negotiate, to discuss, to meet, to connect, to network with, because they have something that you need. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from the energy of this king today. They have something that you need, and so you need to approach this. Make sure that you are asking for what you need, Virgo, okay, that's important. And also just being honest and not trying to, don't try to second guess, okay, because I've got a feeling that the energy of this king, now they might be male, they may be female, but I just feel like they want you to just give it straight. They want you to be direct, honest and upfront, and that's going to be the best approach for you, okay. Back to this energy of thinking about being chosen, not just considered. There's a very different sort of feeling that you're going to be having as you think about how that plays out, and in some ways that's also linking into the aspect of this King of Swords. Now, if it is coming in on a romantic level for some of you, you may find that someone's energy is a little bit more cool than you had anticipated. If it is somebody coming back from the past, of course, during retrograde energy, they're also coming back with information. I feel that your focus and your energy is very firmly directed somewhere else at the moment, so I don't see that it has to necessarily be a situation that's going to really upheaval you, but you're going to just have to be mindful and make sure that your own boundaries are in place. But, overall, I feel he can be an incredibly clarifying, helpful, supportive influence by way of stepping into your path to kind of deliver you something that you need. That's really how he's coming through in this instance for me, okay? So Mercury moves direct on the 20th. Now, just ahead of that time, we've got Saturn squaring Uranus on the 17th. It's the first of 3 in 2021. It happens again on June 14th, December 24th. We played with this energy last year. We're going to see more of it in 2022. It's a very strong dynamic tension where we try to get the balance between our need to feel secure emotionally and to have control versus our need to break free, to liberate, to surprise, to shock, to feel like we can have our own revolution. And so it is an uncomfortable, pressured energy that's going to be coming through, but it can be extraordinarily life-changing and clarifying once you understand what it's trying to deliver, what it's trying to highlight, and what it's trying to show you. Now, your Hierophant energy comes in, linked into the sign of Taurus, so nice earth energy. Look at the stream of consciousness that's coming through from source directly into your crown chakra here, helping you to navigate and understand how to move through this, but also what the gift for you is in this. Now, for me, this dove of peace here, the gift is peace. So what you're going to experience by way of that square, as uncomfortable as it might be, as challenging as it might come across, the overall rationale behind this is so that you can deal with something, confront something, acknowledge, accept, and move forward and get to a place where it's not impacting you and you can find that centered and that groundedness. Remember, deep reflection delivers deep peace, okay? We're also looking at commitments. We're looking at promises, and perhaps this is where, again, this King of Swords energy is coming through, wanting something from you in return for information or what they are prepared to deliver or offer. If that's the case and we're looking at something more formal by way of agreements or contracts, we certainly have that showing up for some of you on a professional capacity, and again may well be connected to property, to places of work, or something within a family dynamic. If that is the case, just make sure during retrograde that the details are looked over again and again and again. Ideally after the 20th is going to be a better time. We're even still in shadow for a couple of weeks after that. March and April much more free flowing by way of really doing anything that's on the big stage, you know. So if you've got big launches or you want to kind of really put something out there and put something on the line, then that's going to be a more conducive time. However, if it has to be in February, just make sure that you are checking over everything. I do have a sense that the full moon in your sign on the 27th, though, is going to be very auspicious for you by way of recognition and by way of getting something to where it needs to be. Your Six of Pentacles coming in here, and for me actually balancing something out really sweetly and really nicely for you. You might find relationships go into a time where they feel a little bit more leveled than they have for some time. You might even experience your partner or other connections in your life. Remember, in Pisces season we're into 7th house, which is that relationship aspect of your chart. But what you might find is that people are making a little bit more effort than they have done previously, or even that you feel like you're ready to make more effort. You want to invest more. That's what that's showing me. Six of Pentacles is telling me I want to invest more in this relationship or in this thing that makes me feel like I can find that sense of peace and balance within myself. You might want to commit to something. I feel like there's also the opportunity for some sort of payout for some of you. Okay, now if you are up against financial hardship or struggling or finding it difficult by way of work and career, there's some really strong ideas and inspiration that are coming through. But remember what we said, no shortcuts, okay? Do the path or take the path that is aligned with really what you want to do. You know, don't settle, because even if you're tempted just to kind of have that for a quick fix, I think you're going to quickly hit a brick wall with it and feel that, you know, it's actually going to be more of a drain on your energy and end up delaying more of the fruitful, good quality opportunities and things that want to come to fruition for you, okay? So just take extra time to think about that. But certainly I also have this sense of the breathing life back into things could be really favourable. So if you find yourself in a position where you do have more time, or you are trying to look around and say, okay, what next, what now? Think about things that you might have done in the past or previously and see how they may well have something more to give right now, or something that could be reconsidered, repackaged. The sense of active evaluation is coming up really strongly all the way through the readings for February. So it doesn't want you to stop, Virgo. It wants you to keep going. Now, obviously, the Tower comes in because something needs to topple, something needs to change. Again, this King of Swords energy sits above the Tower, so it may well be that there's a piece of information or news or something that's being delivered, or certainly being impacted by the energy of this person, or perhaps the situation that you know, they could also be reflecting. You know, Tower energy is never particularly comfortable, and yet, you know, we've been going through it all the way through last year, and this year there's a continuation of things having to change, foundations having to be torn down so that we can build something more lasting, meaningful for the future. Now, I feel comfortable because you have a lot of stability and balance coming through in your reading overall. So even though we have the Tower coming in here, I feel there's a certain regard of already understanding what this is about. It doesn't feel like it comes in a blindside, really surprising way. It just feels like I'm dealing with more of the same. You might already be going through the upheaval or the transformation of what that Tower has delivered or what it's about to deliver. You know it's coming, you know it's about to happen. So again, the sort of preparing type of energy that retrograde's going to afford you could actually end up being really, really beneficial for you through the course of this month, because I do feel like you're going to be given some important opportunities and doors that are going to open as a result of things that you feel in some ways are holding you back, but actually I think are going to end up freeing you. For me, the Tower almost representing that dynamic tension between that square of Saturn and Uranus, and really just the kind of the nature of something changing irrevocably but positively for you. Now, the Seven of Swords may well bring in your lack of trust to the situation, okay? Or you may well feel that either something or someone is sabotaging or is having, some kind of negative impact on something that you're trying to achieve or something that you're trying to do. You have way more power than that. And this is a reminder, again, about this kindness always comes back. So you don't always necessarily have to agree or demonstrate, over amounts of compassion if people are not treating you in the right way. But there's certainly something about you being kind to yourself in this instance and making sure that your response, doesn't upheaval your energy to the degree that you lose all focus and you discredit how far you've come in the work that you've invested, okay? There's also something about the aspect of this energy about, somebody feeling guilty, perhaps, feeling guilty about the impact that they've had on your path or how it's affected you in some way, okay? So yeah, it's a little bit challenging, but what we're seeing overall through the course of this month is that actually I think you're finding more of a voice and more of a confidence to realize what you will and won't tolerate, okay? What you will and won't tolerate. Now, your energy of temperance comes in beautifully by way of healing, but again, this energy of balance. There's a lot of adjustments that I think you're going to be making in multiple ways through your pathways in February, okay? I think you're going to find that it's, for many of you, going to feel like the proper start of the new year to 2021. So even though that retrograde can slow things down a little bit, it's giving you a chance to kind of catch your breath. And from that, I think you're going to make some really determined, important choices and decisions. You're going to be the one doing the choosing and not just feel like you're the consideration or the second choice. Now, Temperance energy also links into Sagittarius, so you might well be dealing with somebody from that energy, but we're also going through that Gemini and Sagittarius eclipse. And remember, eclipse energies can still play out, a good 3 months, and so you're still going to be feeling the effects of what took place during that Sagittarius eclipse in December. So think back to how that might be relating to this situation in some way. So your animal card for your February reading, Virgo, is the Sacred Abyss, and it is learning. Now, the door is closed right now, okay? So there may be some aspect of your life during the course of the month that you feel like, you're not getting that feedback, you're not getting the opportunity, okay? And yet the light is fully illuminated and golden. So there is a suggestion of kind of hidden treasure, hidden information. And if we can allow the timing, remember you've got master number here, 22, but it's also, reflecting that there's choice here, there is partnership, there is union, there is coming together, but we just need to allow for some timing to come in. Again, that's maybe where your temperance is coming through, and we don't want you to self-sabotage or to lack trust in the process, but there's something about the energy exchange and the balance, the commitment, the promises, the plans, something that needs to get reviewed, reevaluated before that door is going to come open, okay? Of course, these birds, they're coming forth with messages as well. And I feel that, this is going to be a very information-rich month, all right? And I do think that you are going to be given everything that you need to be able to realize where you now stand. So I think for some of you, if you've been feeling the uncertainty or confusion, even though retrograde can deliver that, I think by the time you come out of the end of February, through that full moon in your sign, something will have been validated to you that's going to help you to know where you are, okay, so these are inspiration cards by Autumn Skye. I love the fact that we've got this beautiful owl, we've got the peacock, we've got the raven, all of this bird energy, really important, helping you to see things from a much higher perspective. Tremendous amount of wisdom coming through here, helping you to act with integrity and nobility. And just like that beautiful stream of consciousness coming down here, I think there's a really beautiful sense of magic coming in. Trust your inner wisdom, take time for introspection, explore etheric realms. Your spirit is immortal. Beautiful. So for those of you that are progressing with your own spiritual journey, I think that February is going to be extraordinarily illuminating, and retrograde energies can be so supportive to just help us to link in even more powerful ways than ever before. One of the most important things we need to address through the course of 2021 is how we command our own energy, and you're starting to learn the new ways in which your own energy is speaking to you from a physical, emotional, mental and spiritual perspective. So take time to really understand that through this month, Virgo. It's going to help you make sense of some of the ways that these things will continue to unfold and to what you know is right for you. And that's going to be important by way of your experience and how it's shaped with some of the things that will play out. So this is a general reading. I hope that it will continue to give you some insight through February. If you'd like to join me for the extended, you can find a link in the description box below. And I'm just going to invite you to think about a question that might not have been answered in the main general reading. We'll pull a couple of cards for you and then cover those off. Okay, and I'm also just going to clarify your main spread here. So just beginning with that 10 of Pentacles. Okay, coming through with the 9 of Wands. And the Wheel, okay. Jupiter, of course, working its way through Aquarius right now and delivering those unexpected opportunities and some moments of synchronicity to come in for you that are going to be really important. There's that Temperance coming in over your 2 of Cups again. Air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, so interesting twist there with the King of Swords. We'll go a little bit more into what that 8 of Cups, Devil, and the 9 of Cups wants to tell us. There is some closure coming up here quite strongly for you this month, Virgo. Fire energy of the Queen of Wands coming in here. Do we have an Aries, a Leo, or Sagittarius? Choices and decisions coming in here. Okay, so this Tower and King of Swords is very, very linked for you this month. May well be connected to relationships or something you have your heart set on. Okay, Virgo, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to look forward to continuing this narrative with you in the extended. If you would like to join me, thanks for supporting my channel. If not, I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings and thank you so much for tuning in to the channel, and I'll catch up with you next month. Bye.